Are you someone whose personality changes in different settings? Like in front of your family, you may be a weird loon with silly eating habits and lazy demeanor, but when you're meeting your colleagues, you turn into this boss woman or boss lady. No nonsense, straight to work, achieving targets, submitting reports, earning appreciation. And then when you're meeting your distant relatives, you turn into an introvert, smiling, only answering questions in one or two words, constantly looking at the door for the nearest opportunity to leave. And then when you're meeting your friends, you turn into this chill person, trying out crazy plans, getting excited over your friend's latest endeavor, and sharing gossip. Well, that's me. Hi, I'm Gracie, back with another podcast on solving mysteries of human psyche. If you're someone who faces personality changes when you are in different surrounding environment, like I do, then you're not living your authentic self. From childhood onwards, we take cues from our surrounding environment about what is acceptable and what is not, and accordingly, we mask our true self with personality traits. This is because human beings are social animals. They need to feel accepted by their social circle in order to feel safe and secure. Since human beings are intelligent beings, safety then becomes not just physical but also mental and emotional. You wouldn't want to be constantly criticized because that communicates rejection and abandonment. And this may cause you to feel negative emotions that trigger fight, flight, or freeze reaction of the mind, which takes a toll on the nervous system. So you can't stay in an environment where you constantly feel a pressure on your nervous system. That's why people tend to suppress their qualities in front of people who had rejected it in the past to create a safe spot for themselves within the social setting they are in. So, accordingly, you assume different personas in front of different social groups. This is a primal survival instinct. But if I change the narrative, say, since you were born, people had always accepted you as you are and only taught you ways to do different activities like walking, talking, studying, writing, etc. Just the things which are necessary to learn, then you would have exactly the same personality in front of everyone. In many cases, people don't even know their authentic self because they have become so used to the personality or the mask they are wearing that they think this is who they are. That's how shadow traits are born, the ones playing their role in the play but from behind the curtains of consciousness. The reality is that no one accepts anyone truly who they are because they themselves were never fully accepted. But in my life, and I'm guessing in yours too, because you stumbled onto this video, I think it's time to bring out aspects of our true authentic nature. Because God made us this way since He believed that world would need someone like us. In order to bring out aspects of your authentic self, you have to integrate your shadow. Now you can't see your shadow because it resides in your subconscious mind. But you can see its manifestation in your conscious behavioral patterns like people pleasing, self isolation, getting triggered over critical comments, getting annoyed by someone's specific habits, etc. It took me years to identify that I had people pleasing tendencies because I was an overachiever at school and work. I took it to be my ambitious nature. It wasn't until I had started working at the expense of my health that I noticed that ambitions cannot be achieved at the expense of self care. And that if I'm doing it, it is not normal and that is my survival habit. Pain of being rejected by your primary caregivers or by someone considered very important in the past is suppressed into shadow and people pleasing becomes a conscious manifestation. Getting triggered at smallest of critical comment is a sign of running from some past painful memory of being rejected by your primary caregivers. That memory and its emotions were suppressed into your shadow long ago and triggers are its conscious manifestation. Accepting rejection and allowing yourself to feel and release pain of it will allow you to accept your imperfections, and then after that, criticism will not feel like rejection. It will be just someone's personal feedback on some behavior or activity of yours. What you do with that feedback is up to you. Understand whether working on that feedback will benefit you in the long run. If so, accept it, otherwise, reject it. Suppose you get annoyed by someone making silly mistakes, or maybe making same mistakes again and again, or taking too much time to learn something. We often see this at work where seniors get annoyed by juniors they have to train. This might be because of some suppressed pain of not having a good guide in the past to give them ample opportunities to try things out. They had to learn everything the hard way. So now, when they are in charge of someone else's training, these so called weaknesses, mistakes, annoy them because they never had a chance to allow themselves to make same mistakes. Here the cure would be to build patience and treat mistakes as normal human trait, accepting your own mistakes as normal and allowing yourself not to be a superman all the time so that you can allow others to be human. If you know someone who has a habit of self-isolating in times of heavy emotions, then that is a classic sign of past habit of survival. Loneliness seems to be a safe corner to these people because becoming vulnerable and talking about negative emotions is an uncharted territory for them. They never do it because they have never done it in the past. Or maybe they have done it, but their experiences of sharing their emotions with someone else have not been great. Vulnerability and sharing and talking about negative emotions is a trait suppressed into their shadow, and self isolation is its conscious manifestation. I once read somewhere that opposite of depression is expression. Talking about negative emotions and allowing yourself to be vulnerable eases the pressure on nervous system. I have now started practicing being authentic. In any situation, I take a few moments to tune in and ask myself, would I rather do this right now? What is it that would make me feel most alive in this moment? I ask myself, how am I used to act in this given situation? And is that what I would like to do right now? I am very slowly trying out activities which are opposite to my usual persona. In the meantime, I am also working on my shadow integration through self healing. At work, I have started taking on lesser workload, seeking help where needed. I don't feel the need to keep working at the expense of my self care just to ensure that my bosses are happy with me. I do respect them, I do respect their opinions, but I also now respect myself. I understand that I'm only human and I'm safe and secure even if I make mistakes, even if I do lesser work. This took me a long time to build. It was not in an instant, and it took me months of self healing, allowing myself to feel my negative emotions, calm down my nerves, and accept myself for building survival habits. And now allowing myself to drop them, dropping the walls, teaching myself to become vulnerable around my parents, around my friends, around my colleagues, identifying my trigger patterns, allowing my triggers to subside, and then analyzing the root causes and trying to feel those emotions and releasing them. This in turn is also healing my inner wounds. It is allowing my shadow aspects to feel safe enough to come out. By noticing my trigger patterns, I'm identifying my suppressed pain, and by feeling my pain and releasing it, I'm also releasing my conscious behavioral patterns. One disclaimer I would like to give here: healing is not a linear journey. In school, you only move on to next class, but in journey of self-healing, you may have to repeat same healing again and again, even if you thought you had healed that wound. This happens when the pain is too big and you have not completely released it. You don't even know the size of your shadow, so you don't know how many attempts and how much time it will take to release. Hi everyone. To all of you who have listened to this podcast so far, thank you so much. Thank you so much for taking out the time to listen to this personal journey of mine. I wish you the best for your self healing journey. I hope you feel better soon.